Javier Chagoya, Mexican Consul to Utah, thank you so much for being on Three Questions today.
Thank you very much, Bob. For me, it's a pleasure to be here with you with Fox 13.
Tell me, what is a consul and what do you do here in Utah?
Well, basically, the consulate is the operative part of the diplomatic instrument of the government. Then, basically, the consulates do the part for protection of the Mexican nationals. They issue documentation, and also different kind of things. They we do like registration of Mexicans. They were born here because they are entitled to the Mexican nationality, and we do powers of attorney for the Mexicans to do, or for foreigners they want to do something in Mexico, and then they have the valid that they cannot be personal, but they can be represented. And also we issue visas for the people that need it to go to Mexico. Besides that, we do also cultural, economic, many different kind of things. That when we thinking in that, I said, wow, really we did a lot.
As he said he would, President Trump is moving forward with plans for a wall between the U.S. and Mexico. If that goes forward, regardless of who pays for it, what will be the effect between the two nations and in the trading relationships between the companies in Utah who do business in Mexico?
Well, I can tell you one thing. Part of the wall is already done. I mean, the parts that they don't have is because they are very difficult to build it. And these areas, they don't have a wall like a Chinese wall, but they have some kind of wall, some areas they are very small and or very easy to pass that kind of walls. But that is not to stop exactly the immigration. That can help in some ways, but it's not the solution. Definitely is not a solution. A wall never is a solution. A bridge is a solution. Why? Because when you have a neighbor that can be your partner, your ally, someone that can buy from you, is someone that has the money to do it. If you, because everything is together, if you put some kind of restrictions in this economy, when you have besides you, a more poor country that they cannot have the jobs that they have to have, of course, you are going to have more problems of immigration. As more strong as a country, less immigration is in that country. It's like in Europe and Spain, before they were part of the European Union, the people that was working outside was people from Spain. After they become part of the European Union, they start to have immigration in their country, and the Spaniards, they didn't want out. It's the same thing in any place, just we translate it to another place. In the case of Mexico, for example, I know by fact that the United States has a shortage of workers. For that kind of immigration, the undocumented immigration, they find a job because they don't have people that fulfill these places, these jobs.
Are you talking about agricultural jobs, or are you
basically
talking about,
basically that is the one labor. Labor. Yes, of course. Of course, it exists another kind too. And for example, like the companies in Seattle, like Microsoft or Amazon, they bring a lot of people, qualified people, on their HB1 visas. That is one of the solutions. When you need some qualified people, then probably they're going to have problems too. But you fulfill those ones with this shortage that you have in some special areas. And the agricultural areas where you have a big shortage. That about the visas that they issue, they have a cap. They have like 270,000 visas, H1, B1, B2, and A2. Then these kind of visas, they have cap that they cannot pass. But basically, it's like 8 million people that you need to fulfill that employment.
Yeah.
Then for that is the people arrives and have work.
What kind of an effect would a wall have on the companies here in Utah who have direct ties to companies in Mexico? What will that do to the relationship between those companies?
It's hard, very hard. Even for Utah, it looks like it's not, it's the 32nd partner of Mexico in trade. But anyway, it's very important for Utah because Utah exports a lot of transportation equipment, minerals, chemicals, food, and others. But basically, just in transportation equipment, affect jobs. Because as far this exportation, this about, in 1993 was 50 million. Right now, we are talking about 850 million.
In trade?
In trade. No, just in exportations from Utah to Mexico.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Utah buys less from Mexico. If we put it in the administration, in the new administration words, we said, oh, Mexico has a deficit for a few millions, you know? But it's not that simple. That is this 850 in 2015, more or less is growing 50% every year, more or less.
Wow.
And this affects a lot because here Mexico imports this transportation equipment. There are metals, there are plastics, also electronics for cars that they are selling. They are not doing the cars here. They are doing in Mexico. Right. And they buy it, they transform it, they return it, they go to return again to Mexico a few times. And all of this trade makes jobs, create jobs. Right. And then imagine how many jobs there are going to be. Just in a small trade like Utah has with Mexico, they around 900 million a year. That's, if you're thinking with the population, that's in everything together is going to be a lot. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because it's not just these parts of components. There are different ones. And also, there are a lot of companies represented here in companies that are investing in Mexico from Utah. And they help Mexico because it's a direct foreign investment. They help Mexico, but also they make a lot of money with Mexican in buying and working with Mexico. Then if you put everything together, they're going to be could be a big loss, just not for Mexico, just also for United States, and in particular for youth. It's going to be important in case something different pass in that free trade agreement.
U.S. presidents have been talking in recent decades about fixing the immigration problems in this country. Illegal immigration, undocumented immigration, has been a problem for some time now. What would you say is the solution? If not a wall, then what is the solution?
A bridge. I mean, you know, if you know that you have this kind of places where the people can work, Well, if I have a cap, you have to separate immigration from the labor and ask to the companies, how many workers do you need? And then you can make the solution could be a program like we have with Canada. With Canada, we have temporary agricultural workers in Canada. And every year it's growing because they're requesting the people. And the people going to Canada and return to Mexico without any problem. Because for the people, the ones they wanted to work, make the money. And of course, if they make money in a different way, I mean, the attraction from this country is the difference of the money. I mean, if I make $2,000 here a month, it's not so much. But if you make $2,000 in Mexico and you convert it to pesos, dollars, okay? If you convert it in pesos, they are 40,000 pesos. With that money, you can live very, very well. Even you can have a maid. You know,
Yeah.
that is the difference of the acquisition of the money, the power of the money.
Yeah.
And the solution is that make a program. We had it before. In 1942, we have the Bracero program. They started, they finished in the 60s, beginning of the 60s, and was working very well. When you had the problem, you requested to the Mexicans, we need workers. And then they called it Bracero program. Was people that came to work here, were the factories and the agricultural, where you didn't have people to do it.
So in this program that you're suggesting, then, the workers would just come to work. They wouldn't come to live and move their families here necessarily and try to gain citizenship, but they would come just to work and then they would return to Mexico. Is that correct?
If you do that program in that way, yes. Yes, the only thing is you have to know, because contrary what the people think, that if I'm going there and I'm work there and I can make it. But if you have the chance to work in another place, make the money, and return to your country, and the time that you don't have work or they are off of season, then they are going to return. Exists that program. I mean, it's not new. Exists even in Mexico, and in Monterrey they have it. They requested some people and they send it to work to Texas, basically. And they return. They return because really they just the only thing they are getting the job, making the money, they support the family and they support them. And in Mexico, you have to know Mexico. Sometimes you see just the buildings or the beaches and you say, this is very nice. Well, Mexico has a very nice places. Nobody wants to live as a citizen of second. I mean,
Second-class citizen.
Second-class citizen.
Yeah.
Yes, because you don't get the respect. You don't have. But if you are with a proper visa, the work visa, it's different. They can work in that way, and especially that you can request it, or the people. I think this is just my idea of a solution. You can ask the companies from the United States, the agricultural people, said, how many people do you need? Okay, then you can have some kind of offices outside just to recruit these people, you know?
Yeah.
They don't have to be here in the United States. They can be in Mexico, in Guatemala, in Honduras, in El Salvador, or in different places, or in Africa if you want.
Yeah, wherever there are workers.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then just you give. I need this kind of workers, where I can have it, where I can, and work in that, and then the people stop to come in, because if you arrive to a country where it's not a job, if you cannot get a job, you return to your country.
Yeah.
Or going to another place.
Right.
But if The people coming without papers is because they find work. Because exist that kind of jobs that nobody wants.
Right.
Because I can tell you, work in the agriculture is very hard.
Hard work. That's right.
Very hard work. Or in the construction, I can see the people working, and normally are foreigners, the people that works in the construction, and this in this time of the year with this weather, and they are working and they are putting and building. That is hard too.
Yeah.
It's not easy. That kind of jobs, sometimes you don't have enough people. Even the population of U.S., they don't grow in the time that of the necessities from United States. You need a lot of workers, and for that, the people come because if you find a work, of course you are going to get more money than that you can get in your country. Right. Because if you make the comparison in the agricultural workers in Mexico, they make money to live, but just for to live, and they have to work so hard, no? And they can make twice the minimum salary, and they didn't arrive to one day here. I mean, this is the big difference.
Yeah.
I mean, I know the governments are working to try, but depends of the size of your economy. That is difficult. For example, the United States is the economy number one with more than 17 trillion. It's the number one. The second one is the Chinese, and it's 11 trillion. I mean, that's a difference between United States and China. And Mexico is a tiny related with them because it's just 1.2 trillion of the gross domestic product. Then, when you said, for example, the trade in 2015 between Mexico and United States, we sold 295 billion in trade. We export to the United States, and United States export to Mexico 235. Then for that, Trump said this a 60 billion deficit, but it's not like that, because how much money is involved in that trade, how many employments are involved in that trade, who is working so hard in those ones. They are creating, of course, we sell more because we cannot buy more because we are less people. We are a small economy in comparison with the United States.
Right.
If you compare with some countries in Africa, for sure, we are a huge economy.
Bigger. Yeah, much bigger.
Mm-hmm. But it's the thing. And, I cannot see a wall building between exactly with the partners most important from Mexico in United States and from United States, like Texas and California, economy number one and number two of United States. And just Texas, this is the number one for Mexico, they trade $94 billion in a year. That's
a lot more than 850 million here in Utah.
Yes, of course.
It's an awful lot.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, that's almost as big as Mexico's gross domestic product altogether, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Same with California. Then that's important for them. Then to affect that, you're going to affect a lot of employments in the United States. In Mexico, it's going to be worse because we are smaller. But in the United States, you'll be affected completely. That is not just Utah, all the United States. Even the border, if you put a wall, how they are going to do? Imagine a border where we cross, the people cross legally more than 1 million every day. People. And they cross more than 350,000 vehicles every day. Yeah. That is one of the borders more busy and can be an example for all the world. It's more busy than the border with Canada, even if it's bigger.
Yeah.
And
Let me ask you this,
Sure, sure.
And let's shift gears just a little bit. What are you hearing from the Mexican families living here in Utah since President Trump has taken office?
most of the Mexican families living in Utah, they're afraid. A lot. They feel not comfortable. They feel that anytime they can be taken out, even if they have a resident alien card, that they can, like an example, these past days, they are afraid. They really are afraid. They don't know what is going to happen. They don't know how they are going to be react. The people, these people, there are a lot here in Utah. We call it dreamers. They are afraid too, even that they know that they have more rights. That they try to be in accordance with the executive order from Obama, and that they did what they have to do on the time. Mm-hmm. And now they have the working permit, but I don't know they don't know if someday what they are going to say.
What does your office tell them?
Well, we tell them that they have to be calm, that we have to wait what is going to be, because in accordance with what they are saying, they are not criminals. Probably they are not going to be targeted. But they said, but we don't know what is happening. From one day to another, they change in accordance with what is thinking the head of the government from the United States. Mm-hmm. They don't know. Nobody knows. Nobody can give them certidumbre, we said in Spanish, the certainty that it's going to be fine, that they're not going to be affected. And for that I said, not just the people that they don't have documents feel afraid, also people that's resident. We said we give recommendations. Well, in order to the you be better, you can get the U.S. citizenship if you have the chance, because this is one of the things. We never said you don't have to love the country that give you the work. On contrary, you have to love them. If you in your heart you feel that you are Mexican, you are going to be always Mexican in your heart. But you are living in this country, you have to follow the rules from this country, and then also you have to love this country. Even we have a lot of Mexicans in the army.
That's true. That's true. The Mexican drug cartels are notoriously vicious and deadly. What is the best way for the two countries, for the United States and Mexico, to fight those cartels? Well,
in Mexico we are fighting so much, and we think it's a together responsibility, because it's not just, they said, Mexican cartels, but exist. Absolutely, they are. But in order to have their business, they have to have a counterpart where they are going to sell their products. Then we have to work together to fight with them, because as far you have, like I said, in any enterprise, in any business, you have the one that makes the product, in the transportation, and the one that buy it, because they not produce and transport, and also have the infrastructure to sell it in another place, even not in another country. It's worse. Then they have to have a counterpart that nobody talks about it, but exists. Right. It's a fact.
So what do we do? How do we fight those cartels and get rid of that flow of drugs across the border and back and forth?
That is very difficult. I mean, we are working together, because sometimes they said, oh, we are going to take out this help the United States give to Mexico. We are not going to give them more. Well, we cannot do the job that we are doing. we are working so hard against the cartels. We have a lot of dead people. We have an army working in things that probably they don't have to do it, to work against the cartels, to enforcement the law, against the drugs. That is hard, and also you need money.
Yeah.
You need help, and not if you wanted to stop something. It's like that. If you don't want to have immigrant workers, well, don't have jobs. If you don't have jobs, they don't come in because they cannot work. If you have high demand from the narcotic products, they are coming.
Yeah.
How they can just stop it is very difficult because there are many things involved. Also, for example, weapons. We don't produce weapons in Mexico. But the cartels, they have the best, better than the army.
Wow, that's hard to fight when that's the case.
Yes. Then, from where they come from, these weapons? I mean, they have, in Mexico, it's forbidden to have guns or weapons like we call it from the uso exclusivo from the army, the exclusive use from the army. Mm-hmm. But in these cartels, they have those and better than those, because they have the money. They can buy it. And then, I mean, a normal citizen in Mexico, they cannot have a Kalashnikov or this AK-47 Cuerno de Chivo and things like that. That is the oldest, but the newer ones now they have, and they have everything. Then we have to fight also in the other side to stop the coming weapons to Mexico. And we have to work that doesn't come drugs to the United States, but really cost a lot. Not just in money, in lives.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about tourism. The difficulties between President Trump and President Nieto, is that going to affect tourism? Because I know Utahns love to go to Cancun and Mazatlan and Puerto Vallarta and all of those places.
Yes. Well, in my point of view, depends what is coming. I mean, can be affected also the tourism. When you work not reasonable, just because you feel it in that way, I believe the Americans, they said they would use it the gut.
Mm-hmm. The gut.
Mm-hmm. Then sometimes you awake some kind of anti-American sentiment. Mm-hmm. Or like they use the stereotypes of the Mexicans. They come to United States to take the jobs from the U.S., that they don't pay taxes. That sort is false. But because they pay taxes. That someone, the IRS or the Mexican Hacienda, mm-hmm. they don't stop is to take the taxes from the people. Yeah. If they work, they pay taxes. Even exists a number, 18 number in the United States, that they don't have the permit to work, but they have the permit to pay taxes. That is the 18 number.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And then these kind of things. That is they can affect the tourism. Yes, of course. Of course, depends what is happening. They don't. We love people from the United States, but also they don't think how many tourists from Mexico come to the United States. We spend a lot. Mexicans spend a lot. Last year was more than 18 billions in tourism coming from Mexico to the United States to expand. They have the stereotype that the Mexicans are the only ones that they came to work. But also in Mexico exists a lot of people who have a lot of money, mm-hmm. like Carlos Slim, for example.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He could vacation anywhere.
Anywhere. And also, You can see here the resorts. Many Mexican people come to skiing in Colorado and in Utah and Wyoming, in Jackson.
But Utah has the best snow,
But
Bill.
of course,
Yeah, it says so right on the license
and they know
plates.
that, and
Yeah.
then they expend a lot of money to come here to do that.
Yeah.
Then, like I said, we come and spend a lot of money here. That can affect it because, of course, if you feel you are not welcome in one place, you said, better I'm going to another place. Maybe I have enough money to go into Europe, and they have nice places too, to skiing, for example.
Yeah.
And in these people that they come to spend in those resorts, they have money. They can tell you they have money. And but for Mexico, it's very important. But also, you don't see how much the Mexicans pay for the tourist visa. I mean, the visa by itself is free. They said don't cost. But the review of the papers, you have to pay $160 or $180 or $200. Depends. Just to review it. If they give you or not the visa, that is a lot of money. How many people requested? Just in Mexico, you have to ask to the U.S. Embassy or the U.S. Consulate in Mexico how many people apply every day or a month or a year.
But there are a lot.
There are a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
I can tell you, a lot of people. Then also the tourists in the border. Tourists in the border is a lot. Many people, you're thinking always the tourists can be the one that is going to spend 1 week in Park City, in nice hotel, but are people that going in weekend basis, for example, Saturday and Sunday. And then I said I'm living in Reynosa, Tamaulipas, and I'm going to La Isla del Padre for 2 nights. Or every day I'm going to buy my things to the other side of the border because they said that they have a better quality. Or I'm going to put my gasoline. We import a lot of gasoline from United States. Yeah. That is the biggest one. The importation from Mexico. We spend a lot of money in that. We sell oil, but we buy gasoline, and of course the gasoline is more expensive than the oil. And
That's just how it goes.
That's
just
how
it goes.
That's a finished product from the oil. It's like we said, we give you the oil, we sell you the oil, and you sell us gasoline. And then at the end, we are going to have a deficit.
Right.
Yes. The same is with other things like this. Trump said the United States has a deficit from 60 billion with Mexico. No, it's because we are working in that way.
Right.
It's a
just
partnership
how it is.
in how it is.
Yeah. The immigration laws between the United States and Mexico, there's a lot of talk on this side of the border about fixing the immigration laws. Should the United States pattern its immigration laws after Mexico's immigration laws? And what are those like?
We really got very mild with the immigration. Before the immigration law was saying, for example, if someone was passing Mexico without papers, they cannot register a child if the child was born in Mexico. That's banned. That's disappeared from the law in Mexico. Now we follow the jus soli. If someone was born in Mexico, it doesn't matter if the parents are there legally or not, they have the right for the child to have the Mexican nationality and to be registered. That's completely
similar to the United States.
Yes, similar to the United States in that way. The immigration law in Mexico changed a lot because we realized that we had not a good law, and we were violated some human rights before, and then we have to adequate those laws. Now even we have some programs for the people that are coming or they are immigration or they want to pass to the United States. Even if they want to stay in Mexico, they can stay, just they have to fulfill some kind of different requirements, like in every place.
I see.
Mhm.
Okay.
But they can stay, I mean, if they want. The problem with the people that's passing by is you wanted to make money in dollars. Dollars are the difference. Pesos, for example, you need 2 pesos for 1 quetzal from Guatemala. Mhm.
Okay.
That means
I see. Yeah.
the quetzal.
Quetzal is their currency.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's their currency.
Yeah.
And then you need 2 pesos to buy 1 quetzal.
I see.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That means the Guatemalan money is higher in price
Yeah.
than the Mexican. They have to make the double. They said, no. We want it to be in the United States to make dollars, because with $7 I buy a quetzal. Mhm. That is different.
Yeah.
Then you have to work harder in Mexico for that. They don't want it. Money is the attraction. I mean, because you are going to make more money, and then you can have a better life.
Right.
That you can live better. You can do more things in your country. In the Latin American countries, is easier. The life is cheaper, but also you have to have as much money you have, more things you can have.
Yeah.
Then, like, obviously.
Final question. Here's my final question to you. Where is the best place to get authentic, good Mexican food in Utah?
Wow. Really? You're talking about restaurants?
I'm talking
Or
about any kind of establishment. Where have you found the best Mexican food here in Utah?
There are a few restaurants that are good. I mean, depends of your taste from where you're from. Sometimes you find a small restaurant, a tiny one. They have comida oaxaqueña, and if you like comida oaxaqueña, for sure that is going to be the best restaurant, the Mexican restaurant for you, even if it's not completely authentic, you know. But
What is it?
the name is La Oaxaqueña, but
Oaxaqueña?
yes,
What is that?
I cannot tell you exactly. I'm sorry,
But it's good.
but it's good. Also, the Red one has a good food,
Yeah.
Mexican food. Chile Amor has another. I don't know if I can say
Amor,
names, but
Sure.
but they have a good Mexican food that you can enjoy it. In some other restaurants here, this one from Mr. Fierro, that is a good restaurant food, Mexican food too.
Mi
some-
ranchito.
También, also.
¿Está bien?
Yeah, yes. There are a few, and this is one guy. The name is called El Pariente.
Mhm.
They have some. They said birria de res. That is completely delicious.
Mm.
Really, very very good.
Well,
But I don't see if he has a restaurant. But he has a catering.
well,
And
good.
then you can buy it, or he can sell it the food for a few people. In when we wanted Mexican food, we looking for people like that. That they make it for you in the way. Even you can ask them, I want it more hot, or in this way, or like this way. That depends. But Utah has some good restaurants.
Javier Chagoya, Mexican Consul to Utah. Thank you so much for being part of 3 Questions.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you very much. It was my pleasure.